Well, we got the internet back. That was not a fun trip. But in any case, what has taken place here is pretty much right along the lines of what we expected. The market dropped into an early low here at 90.50. We said that there was, or pardon me, that's at 90. We said there was a low volume node, as you can see, at 90.25, right in here. So that's where that dropped. Now it came back down to 89.25. So that other little low volume node, and then it's been taking off since. Now we haven't quite made it up to 93.50 as of yet, but that's where we anticipate our target will be. So let's take a look at a few other things. Now we had this area of low volume from yesterday, and as we dropped into this low of today, where we covered that area, now we're heading back up. Unfortunately, we don't have the video from the last hour to really show how this all propagated. But just a comment, as you look at this profile, all right, there's really nothing extraordinary about this profile. It looks good at the bottom, it looks good at the top. This is kind of the way we would expect it to show up. Now we spoke about the same thing regarding the overnight market. Let's go back there and take a look. Now this was the overnight market profile. Pretty well nicely formed, okay? But this, yesterday, is awful. There's no form to it, okay? There's really hardly any major area of control here, which is kind of striking, but it appears as if the TPOC was right up here, which is right about where the, if I've got that correct, that's the open. No, that's not the open, pardon me. That was the open of the previous day. Well, anyway, in any case, the volume profile is way down here. Okay. I'm not really sure where the TPOC is here. I'm sorry to say, I can't quite tell. But it looks like it's right here. In any event, this is not very well formed at all. I mean, just if you just look at any other profile, you've got some fairly strong. I mean, this is a real good example of the kind of bell curve, other than the area of repair up here that needed to take place. But that's a reasonably well formed profile. This not too bad, but you got all this area of repair in here. This is of course distorted because you don't have anything symmetrical below that you've got above, and of course this is just there's nothing to that. This, on the other hand, that's nicely formed. Okay, so is it any wonder that we came down here to the area of lower volume? We caught buyers down here, and now we're beginning to move up and start to rework all of this activity, all of these prices up in here. So we've got a long way to go to the upside here. But as we mentioned, that the overnight market indicated that, you know, the majority of the time what was spent below the close was up at 93.50, which is right here, and that gives us a bias to the downside. But because of the nicely formed profile, we can say that there's good reason to anticipate that this thing, in fact, may just continue to rally up. And especially because of all of the area of unfinished business from yesterday. This area of repair all took place in the overnight market, a little bit more yet this morning. Okay, kind of completing this section in here, and now we're on our way up to 93.50, the close of yesterday. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a context as to why we said what we said earlier today. Now, what else can we pull from this? Okay, that's just about it on that note. Still having a little trouble getting up there. And the area around 90.50 is still low volume. Okay. Now, the more, I'm going to get rid of these. Yeah, the more time that we spend between our upper and projected lower value area here, the more that profile is going to take on a bell-shaped curve right in between these two areas, so that as we push up a bit more into the area around 96-ish, we'll be completing, this bell-shaped, inverted bell-shaped curve the way we would expect it to show up. So as a bit of advice, if you want to do a study so that you get the idea what you should do, in fact, let's just demonstrate what we are recommending. Go and take a month worth of data. I use this kind of a format where you've got the day activity, the overnight activity in separate profiles, and look at how these profiles appear. Now we'll just use this as an example. All right, this is the overnight activity, not well formed at all. In that this is this area down here where it has no tail to it. There needs to be something below this, and you can see in the following morning how if you took this profile and added it to this, that would complete this, right? So this is a bit better, and that's why you could see some potential for the downside to complete that profile. Now this isn't too badly formed, but you obviously have an area of repair in here because of low volume. So in the overnight market, you spend some time there. But once again, the lows here, and for that matter, the high, is really not very well formed. It doesn't look like this at all. So you've got downside, you've got areas to the downside that need to be repaired, but you also have areas to the upside. And you've got this area of low volume in here. So there's a lot of area repair both above and below the high and the low here. So now the following day, see how symmetrical the highs and the lows are? The profile is not badly formed. But in the overnight market, this is horrible. You got areas of repair here and here and here. So this has all got to get fixed. And that's what happens here. So the following day, this is fixed. Area of repair down here below. Not much activity there. The upside doesn't look so good, however. The rest of the curve is correct, but you don't have the symmetry here. So you would expect something on the upside, and the overnight market tends to repair that. But at the same time, the overnight market leaves an area of repair in here, and that's what you see take place at the open of the following day. But as this profile is formed, this also looks, this is terrible. I mean, you got this big area of repair in here, the bell-shaped curve with the TPOC over here, that's all skewed to the upside, and that doesn't look good. So you've definitely got some area down below here that needs attention. But as this market rallied up right toward the close, this is carried through on the following day. Okay. So we get that big push in the overnight market up, and then we begin to repair down in here. And other than that area up here, which we're just going to discount because of the big spike up in the early part of the overnight market, this doesn't really look too bad, but you've definitely got low volume in here, and your TPOC is right in here somewhere over the last several days. So that's where the majority of the market spent some time. So with the low volume all in here, you can understand why the market has dropped to kind of correct that. This isn't too bad, all right? It's a little bit area of repair up in here. The overnight market takes care of that. But then you've got this situation here, as we mentioned. Doesn't look good at all. So the overnight market takes care of this area, and now we're heading back up to kind of provide some repair, especially up to the upside here. So you've just got to look at it. You've just got to eyeball the thing and look at history, look at how the market, how these profiles appear, all right, and see why they're being corrected. And then you can have a pretty good idea of how the market needs to perform in order to repair these areas and to create a more uniform type of profile. So let's look at a composite to compare this with. So what we're going to do here is take a look at all of the volume from this low on November 9th. Okay, all of the volume from the low on November 9th, and look at the composite. And here's what it looks like. Okay, now that's all of the volume. Now if we just look at the profile above, say, 2312 here, you see how we've got a fairly uniform market profile. Now to the upside here, not much going on. All right, but this is new. All right, we haven't had much activity in here, but you see the overall profile here. Or if we take from that point below, say 2300, how we come up, we come down, that's fairly uniform. And then we've got another profile here below, which of course doesn't look good at all. And so now you see how we managed to get right up there to where we expected it to go up into this upper value area, and of course coming down now. So enough said about this profile. The shape of the profile is important. It definitely is important, and of course the area of repair is pretty easy to see. That's all the time we have for this morning. We got other problems to deal with. So that concludes this video.